You're listening to the Hope Shot Recovery Podcast.
Good evening, everyone. What's up? Welcome back to the Hope Shot Sunday Night Live. I don't know, there was a little glitch in the Matrix for a second or something. I don't know. It was acting a little funny. What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. Happy Easter. Man, I hope everyone got a good day of family time, had get to church festivities, and get that food in you, because I know there's a bunch of food going around. So, yeah, you got me and Cesar tonight. It's going to be a good show no matter what, especially with Cesar on here, you know. Hey, Cesar, man, will you give me that clarity statement? You got to unmute the mic, though, bro.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
I just did.
All right, the Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. And thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Yes, thank you, Cesar. All right, guys. So, Cesar, why don't you talk about a little topic, man? What are we doing?
All right, so we were talking before the show, and I guess the topic was going to be inside job, because I believe that happiness is an inside job, and I believe that external things don't truly bring happiness. And I remember my sponsor telling me early on, you know, getting the driver's license or getting your car back, those are going to be short-lived victories. You know, you're going to be really excited, but that's not going to keep you motivated. Buying a big TV, buying your first home, these are all like cool things, but that's not what brings me happiness. That's not what brings me joy at all. All of that comes from inside, about how I feel about myself. You know, and Justin and I were talking for a while, and both of us, if you looked at our lives from the outside, it looks like we have perfect lives, but, you know, we're addicts, we're alcoholics, we're whatever you want to call us, and we have the thinking that goes with that. And if we don't do work all the time, everything can kind of just look like shit to us. I mean, that's just being honest, and that's being truthful. And everything that I prayed for, I'm literally living in. I'm living in a life that I prayed for, and I can still bitch and I can still complain. And that's when I'm not spiritual, you know. And when I'm really working on myself and I'm outside of myself, helping other people, that's when I feel good about things. And it's just a perspective thing. Like, you could take a person, I'll take myself as an example. We were talking earlier today at the dinner table, and my wife was pointing out that one of the happiest times I had was when I first got my first job in recovery, and I was busting my ass. I was removing insulation out of rat-infested attics in July in Florida, attics that are 140, 150 degrees. And I made $500 a week before taxes. But I was earning money for the first time, honestly, on my own. I was putting some food on the table, helping out at the home, and I had somewhere to go every day that wasn't like doing scumbaggery. I woke up in the morning and I was responsible, and I actually felt good about myself. And even though I didn't make much money and I had almost zero possessions, I was genuinely happy. And the happiness came from the first time in my life I'm doing the right thing, and I'm seeing some of the rewards of doing the right thing. I'm providing for my family. I'm taking meetings into these rehabs. I'm busting my ass, but it feels good. You know, and you fast forward, I don't know, 7, 8 years later, and I can be ungrateful. You know, I have 20 times the possessions, bought my own house. I have this incredible life from the outside. But if I don't continue to work on myself on the inside, it doesn't matter how many material things I get. I'm not going to be happy inside. So I always have to bring myself back to what made me happy. Well, it's to have a purpose, to help other people, to be an example in recovery, to work hard for my family, and to make time for them and to show them love. And when I do those things, I go right back to being okay. When I don't do those things, when I only focus on getting the next material thing, oh man, I'll be so happy if I could just get this truck. Bullcrap. It doesn't work that way. You get the thing and your eye comes off that thing to the next thing. Well, man, this truck's really nice, but this other guy's got one that's $20,000 more than this one. I wish I had that one. You know, material things aren't the answer for any type of happiness or joy. They're nice, don't get me wrong. You know, we have a comfortable life, but that's not where my joy comes from. That's not where my peace comes from. It's constant work. It's an inside job. The external has no bearing on how I feel about myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It just,
that shiny
it's just
thing.
like drugs and alcohol. It didn't matter how much I poured into myself. It was never enough. And possessions can be the exact same thing. It doesn't matter how much crap I collect. It's never enough if I'm not okay. So I always have to break it back down to the basics and stop being selfish. Stop focusing on those things. Focus on helping other people. Focus on my recovery, my family, and doing the next right thing. And when I do those things and I'm balanced spiritually, the joy just comes. It's got nothing to do with what I have. So,
yeah.
I felt like it was a good topic to talk about.
It is a good topic. And I will say that, like, I think we were both like in the same realm, because no matter what, you know, we evolve in this recovery lifestyle, right? We evolve and we forget, a built-in forgetter about, you know, what was exciting, what, you know, shit. I just remember just being happy going to a damn event where I wasn't getting wasted and being okay with it. Like now I don't even do what I used to do. Like I used to just be happy with life and the newness of it, like not being fucked up all the time in that miserable state of mind. And now I forgot that. Why can't I be happy that I'm not in that miserable state of mind? Because I'm so far removed from it that I forgot exactly what that felt like. Like I can remember it, but I cannot like physically feel it, like, or envision that darkness as much as I did when it was newer, you know, not that far removed from it. And there's a lot of newness that happened throughout the years, the early years, you know, like learning new things and figuring myself out. And now it's just like it becomes daunting, almost like the day in and day out mediocrity of my life. But it's not. But looking at, like you said, Cesar, looking from the outside, looking in, you know, Nate put it in perspective for me, because I've been struggling with that, you know, just finding contentment, being content with everything in life. And Tiffany actually told me the other day, she's like, well, I want you to paint a picture of what happiness looks like. What does a happy life look like? And I'm like, shit, I don't even know. I don't even know how to paint that fucking picture. Like, what does that picture look like? What is true happiness look like on a freaking picture, right? And it's just being content, you know, no matter what. Because I used to be workhorse. Like you said, Cesar, going up in rat-infested attics. It didn't matter what it was. I was okay with just being okay and working. And that was my thing, you know. And then things got, you know, somebody shook the box a little bit. And
we got stuff.
Yeah. And things got a little like out of whack, man. And now I'm like trying to find out, like, what is it? What does it look like? You know? And it's just being content, you know? Like I said, Nate said, you know, you have a wife, you got kids, you got, you know, everything outside looking in, but you're not happy. So there's one, you know, there's one constant here, and that's here inside, the constant that I am not, okay with what's going on inside. So I have to figure out what that looks like for me. And so I've been on that, that search, not necessarily search, but I've been doing some things to work on those, you know what I mean? Find out how to be content, like how to find happiness, being, just the positive things. And, because man, I remember just everything is awesome kind of deal, like that. What's that? The Lego movie? Everything is awesome, and everything was, and as soon as that wears off and like you don't get the new stuff, like you got the house. I last year, even dude, all the way up to last year, I got the the GED. I quit smoking. Like, what's next, man? Where we at? What's next? What's next? I'm always searching for that what's next thing. And it's almost like chasing a damn drug again, What's next?
Well, that's one of those things. So where you and I are a lot alike, you've got my wife who's what's next, but all her what's next is spiritual work, and internal work. And she gets excited about it and she goes deeper. And the things that excite her truly bring her the inner joy. And I wish I was excited like she was about that internal work, because she's just grown leaps and bounds doing that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this, man, like I had a couple things happen in my personal business life that now I'm back doing a lot more of the hands-on thing. And I really enjoy hands-on because I'm really good at what I do and I miss it. I miss it. Like I miss doing the things that made me happy. Like, and I always made, and it doesn't matter. Like, okay, so check this out. I can also take the things that make me happy and make them miserable in the same aspect, but like, it's still fine. I find joy in it, but I can make it miserable because I can look all around me, right? And see all these people that are doing, like, they have so much freedom and like, they don't have to do a lot of work in order to have
Comparison is the biggest thief of joy.
Huge. And we allow it to happen. So what am I allowing to happen in my life? That's where like you have to take your power back, right? And that's right now, I'm in the midst of that right now, taking my power back, because I'm just, it sucks living like that, man. It sucks. You're sitting here, you're clean, sober, whatever you want to call it. And you're doing this thing, you're doing the deal, right? And you're just miserable as shit. And you're trying to figure it, like it sucks doing that, right? So like trying to figure out, get out of that state of mind that's what we're searching for.
Look at that. Steve says, who am I? Recovery helper, volunteer, and so on. But what is my identity? And knowing who you are is also a part of your joy. So I'm glad Steve put that out there. Is probably one of the biggest joys I have is being comfortable in my own skin for the first time in my life. It's one of the biggest gifts recovery has given me. And my identity is father, person in long-term recovery, responsible, reliable, those things, because that's what I identify as today, as opposed to 9 years ago where it was not trustworthy, thief, junkie, liar. So those words are powerful. Is what is your identity? What does your self-talk look like when you're talking about yourself? Are you still a piece of shit to yourself? Do you still tell yourself that you're not good enough? I used to. It's been over about the past 2 years that I've really worked on not talking about myself that way. And it makes a big difference because I don't believe that I'm a piece of crap anymore. That is not my identity. My identity is I'm a good person and I'll give you the shirt off my back if I think I can help you. And I need to wear that because that's where my good self-esteem comes from. It doesn't come from the next car or the bigger paycheck. It comes from what kind of human being I'm being on a daily basis to the people around me. And that's it. You want to hit some comments there?
Yeah. And then I'm going to put this real quick. Or am I taking recovery life addictively? Or is this just a phase of my development? And I like how you say that, a phase of my development, because this is all phases of development, because we're in this self-discovery mode and we're building, right? We're building these floors as we go, right? And sometimes we have to go back and fix a couple floors before we can go back up to that next floor. That's how I feel, right? Because sometimes I'm like, I got 5 years, man. I should be like guru or something. But you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think that, but for real, like, that's what, like, the mentality is like, how do I feel like I'm 5 years, but feel like I'm a year, because like how I go from this to that and then back to that, right? And then over here, because that negative self-talk can come back, and sometimes come back with a vengeance. It just depends on what's going on around me that's making all this stuff happen. What's going on around and in too. You know what I mean? Because the things around me can affect the shit that's going on in me as well. Because life throws curveballs, right? And we have to go as it comes and figure out what's going on. And then we have to do the work, because it changes. There's seasons in life, right? Just like the weather, it changes. It's ever changing. It could be just crazy sometimes, right? We have a death, sickness, losing of jobs, losing this, all that, right? So for me, navigating all this stuff newly, because I am still new, right? I got 5 years, but I'm still new, like, because I've never, everything that happens is like the first time it happens, and then I have experience after that, right? So all kinds of new stuff happens daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And I get this experience that I can deal with for the next time something like that or something in the same realm happens. I haven't really been through a lot of hard stuff in recovery yet, so
bull crap, you haven't.
I mean, hold on.
Don't make me correct you.
the past 2 years, yes. Past 2 years. And that's what's fucked me up and threw me off course, right? I thought I was like,
you're still here and you're still grounded. You got to take the experience that your wife went through cancer and treatment and all of this stuff, and you stayed the rock. You know what I mean? You did all the things you were supposed to do. You made the phone calls. You leaned on the people. You were there for your family. You don't glaze over those things. You look back and go, shit, man, that was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
We hung in there and we did what we needed to do. We bonded as a family. We leaned on our friends and we got through it. Now I have that experience to share when one of my friends or fellowship is going through the same crap. That is powerful.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about right there. You know what I mean? Like, because like that whole deal that went down, and my friends before us went through the same deal, and they helped us get through it. And now we can help somebody else get through it. And that's just the way it goes, man. That's the experiences. And now, when things come up, I'll be better equipped. But it feels like sometimes that, like, when those things come up, you still have like like an earthquake happens and then you have aftershocks. You feel me?
I do.
So I feel like that's the same thing in life, right? We have aftershocks, and it's like it's still like meandering, right?
Yeah. What Steve said there. For me, any other time that I tried this deal, I tried to fit recovery in to my life. Like, I was like, oh, I'll put it over here next to these other things, but it wasn't the center of my life, if that makes any sense. I just tried to squeeze it in somewhere. Like, I'm going to do recovery after I do A, B, C, and D, and I'll fit it in here and there. The difference was, once everything was stripped away and I had nothing left, I built off of recovery. Recovery was the foundation for everything, because I had nothing. Not to sound dramatic, but literally after relapse and rehab after rehab, I lost everything. I didn't have anything left. I had $66 that the rehab paid me for mowing the lawn there. And I was scared shitless when I left there. I was like, what am I going to do with $66? You know what I mean? Like, I used to make tons of money, and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had faith if I did the right thing. And I had faith that one foot in front of the other would get me where I needed to go and I would be okay. Was it scary? Yes. But I built off of recovery. Every person I know in my town, every relationship I have came out of a fellowship because I didn't know anybody when I moved here. I moved from Tampa to Newport Richey because this is where my sponsor, when I was in the rehab, lived. And I didn't want to go back to the old deal. So I moved here. And the only people I knew in this town were people that I met in recovery. And that's what I built off of. And because I made it the cornerstone, it's not an option. That's what I built my life on. That's the foundation of my life is recovery. And if you build it that way, it's not shaky. If you try to fit it in as a part-time deal, it's shaky as hell.
Oh, shaky ass. No.
Shaky ass recovery.
Yeah, and it is true, man. Go back to the
comments, man. You got this chat blowing up.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to start. I want to hit a couple people up here that we haven't hit. Let's see. We got, here we go. I'm gonna go way back. Hey everyone. It's Jessica. Hey everyone, I'll be celebrating 9 months clean on the 19th. I couldn't be happier or healthier today because of it. Thanks for doing this, guys. I'm glad to be here and to be a part of this humbling yet beautiful path to recovery. Congratulations to you, Jessica. 9 months.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. We have Laura says toxic people can make recovery almost impossible when they bring their baggage and not healing themselves. And that's true. That is true, but it's also what we allow. You know, what do we allow? We allow whatever we allow to happen to us. We got Jerome says, I think I've got pretty good at applying my program regarding materialistic outside stuff. But when it comes down to feelings around my immediate family, I really have to dig deep. Ooh, me too, my friend. Me too. That's one thing that's hard right there, the immediate family. We got Rachel says, happy egg day, Hope Shot family, egg day. All of the first without my mother just remind me of the absence of physical presence. The holidays she would make for us were just absolutely magic. So much love, laughter, and a table full of food. I spent the day at my parents' house with my father and my sister eating burgers and fries. It was sad, but love was there too. In those simple moments, looking at the things she loved and watching home movies. Another first down. You know, Rachel, that's amazing. You know, holidays were huge for my mom too. It was huge, and every time the holidays come around, it's Christmas, she would make like fudge. She would do, I mean, you name it. She would always just food, and it was great. Those are those happy times, you know, when we're reminiscing about food, when we're cooking food together, like her meals, I still live on today with me. So that's like, it's a lot of firsts that are going to happen, but you know what? It's always remembering the good times and enjoying them, you know? That's what I hang on to, man. The good times and the food that she taught me how to cook, and I cook them.
And you cook it well.
Thanks, buddy.
If I wasn't always on a diet, I'd be at your house all the time eating it.
Yeah, listen, that's where that ziti recipe came from, bro. My mama. Let's see. We have Beth says serenity is a priceless gift to ourselves by doing the work in recovery. Dustin, it is constant work, but the rewards are endless. I know I have a purpose in my life and I have goals, and I've found myself consistently happy for longer than I've ever been since getting clean. I know everything starts with me, and I'm responsible for my own happiness. I know how to make that happiness today from working a program, and it sure as hell isn't the material things.
Amen.
Material things lose its flavor. You know what I mean?
What did we say before the show? It's just all the external things quickly aren't shiny anymore. You're like, ooh, shiny. And you're like, yeah, it's boring.
Let me grab it
again. Ooh, new shiny. Ah, crap, that's boring.
It's like that. It's that rush, that high, man. Like Like they say, like when you go to a car lot and you're gonna buy a vehicle, like don't do it right then, or like that high you get from doing it. I've never left. Like if I'm going to buy a vehicle, I've never left. I've always gotten it, because they put you in it and it's all like, ooh, ooh, oh, it goes back. Oh,
it's got heated seats.
yeah.
It's Florida, but I need these.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, it's the way it is, Let's see. We got Beth also says gratitude equals contentment equals serenity to me. I'm going down, going down, baby. Your street in the Range Rover, sweet baby. Nope. Okay. We got Lindsay. Huh?
I said, okay there, Nelly.
Yeah, I find that protecting my peace and serenity is vital for me today. I can easily be dragged back into my old ideas and behaviors if I don't set healthy boundaries. And that's it, man. Setting healthy boundaries to protect your peace. Because we're really good at fucking up our own, man. We don't need anybody else doing it for us. Or at least I am. Let's see. Hold on, let me get it down.
Hold on, I'll put this one.
Thank you.
You put power in things, stuff, people. It takes my power. Trying to find my power in making me. That's very well put. That's what we do, Justin. We put the power in the external crap, and that's going to fail us every time.
The crap and the people.
Yeah, if I put my faith in the next shiny thing or in a person, because people are fallible, I'm almost guaranteed to be let down and disappointed. It has to be, in my opinion, in my life, it has to be grounded in a power greater than me. It's got to be something bigger than me that's not fallible, and my faith is what gets me through that stuff. It's not the next big TV. It's not the next promotion or how big of a check I can make this week. I mean, if that's what I'm basing my happiness on, I am guaranteed to be miserable.
Yeah. I'm really guilty at putting power in other people's hands too. That's one thing I'm really, really good at. Like I will sit there and think about what other people think about me, and it literally just destroys me. It really will. Like I didn't say the right thing. I didn't do the right thing. And I'm literally destroying myself. Or, there's a lot of things in my life, but I've literally cut a couple people out recently that I feel like I needed to in order to take that power back. So
that's part of those big fears. That's the big three. Fear of other people's opinions, fear I'm not going to get something I want, or fear I'm going to lose something I have. Those are the three big ones that eat at our serenity and chip away at it. Oh man, well, if I don't do this, then I'm not going to get what I want. Oh man, if I don't act this way, what are people going to think about me? I don't really care what you think about me. That's some spiritual badassery when you get to that point, when you're like, you know what? I'm not doing anything wrong. So if you don't like me, you just don't like my face. I don't really care.
I don't like your face.
You don't like my tone of voice. So
it sounds like what was that movie, Step Brothers? You need to fix your face.
But I mean, it's true, man. It's that's inside work, to be comfortable with who you are enough that you don't care about the little nippers and the little talk in the background. I don't care. I know who I am. I do not care what the gossip says. My wife used to drive her nuts. If somebody would say something, she's like, oh, you got to defend yourself. I'm like, I don't have to do anything. My actions speak for me. I'm going to be the same steady person that I've always been. And all that mouth will fade away, because year after year, day after day, I'm going to be the same person. I'm going to consistently show up in my life and in my family's life and be a good person. And that talk's not going to echo through my life. It's hard. It's hard when somebody's trying to badmouth you or slander you, but the longer you continue to be consistent, the less volume those people have.
Kelly.
That's hard. I'm in the background listening, and I'm still not. I'm just going to say this real quick because I'm listening and talking to myself in the other room. That fear of other people's opinion thing is hard for me. It's gotten better and better over the years. Probably this year's the best I think I've been with it by doing a lot of work. But that one's tricky. That one's hard.
You were there when what I'm really referring to. I'm not going to say the situation, but it's to me, there's a much bigger impact by your actions doing the speaking and by my mouth not doing any of the speaking.
And the situation that he was talking about was a good 5 or 6 years ago. And let me tell you, like, it was almost scary what this other person was doing. And I'll be damned, like, he was so right. Like, about a year later, the people that were believing this other person and repeating what they said came back and apologized because he was right. Like, just by living with integrity and living his truth and doing the next right thing, it all ended up working out. It took some time and it was some hard times for us, but it all ended up coming back around, and he just lived with integrity and did the next right thing.
I'm very patient.
Yeah. He's
Right,
yeah.
I wanted to say I missed this comment and I seen it and it just triggered me. But Allie over on YouTube, man, celebrating a sober holiday and a new job with a management position.
Oh, congratulations!
Ooh.
And she got a record. Has been.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
That's the good one.
Congratulations!
Shout out to Allie. Yeah, but yeah, dude, same deal. Like, not jumping to, not giving people the reaction they want. That's the power. Like, you're not giving them what they expect you to do, and that's you taking your power back. Yeah.
Look at this comment.
Sorry.
Don't wait. What are you sorry for?
I got a text message.
Just squirrel.
Yeah.
Dustin says, I'm at work and the residents were just reading about the dangers of destination addiction.
Yeah.
Constantly chasing the next thing, the new job, the new house, the new car. You're always chasing the next thing. You're never grateful for what you have. And an ungrateful addict is endangered. And man, he put that.
It is so true.
That's like that. Well, thanks a lot, Dustin. You just, we can close the show with that.
But literally, we talked about that in the last couple of years. Like, the first couple of years, we worked our butts off. We got the job, the house, in the house that we moved into from our tiny little rental house in
the hood.
Yeah, we lived a little bit is in the hood to the nice part of town. We were like, oh man, we've made it, and this house is huge, and the kids thought it was huge, and it was like 2 years later, and we were looking around like, oh, we could. It's not, it's not that big. Maybe we need more space, and we literally had to check ourselves. Like, we have so much more than I could have ever dreamed or hoped possible by living this life. Way more than we need. And, we're blessed, but that's a real thing. You can keep wanting the next thing. None of that stuff is going to make you happy in the long run. None of that stuff is going to bring the peace you're looking for.
If I only had a pool. Then I would
Listen, I have it, and I'm still like, meh.
Our rental house in the hood had a pool.
I know.
We never used it. We moved here, and now we're like, oh man, we need a pool. Like, we had one. We never used it. We didn't even jump.
Have one here.
All the shiny new things are good for a little bit. They will make you feel good for a little bit, but they're not the end all be all.
The end all be all. Yeah. The new car. Yeah. And it's like, I told myself, I'm going to ride this truck till it dies. That's what I'm doing. I'm literally going to.
I don't blame you. I wish I didn't have a car payment.
It's so expensive these days. Everything.
I mean, that's a good, a good starting point. Like we were sitting here today, and our washing machine makes all kinds of noises, and it was a hand-me-down from back when we were in that rental house, and somebody was like, "Man, that thing's getting rough sounding," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off." I do not need to replace it. It still has clean clothes coming out of it, until that thing just falls over.
Even when we got that, we sat there. We had never had like a front loader, nicer new washing machine. Now front loaders aren't really the thing, but we sat there in front of it, and it was a hand-me-down. His sister got it for us, and we stared at it like this is the nicest thing that has ever washed our clothes. Like, I mean, we were so enthralled by it, and that's another example, like.
We become bougie over the times, because I remember having hand-me-downs, the free stuff, the shit, like on my bed, like we'd have like the old pee stains in it from other people, and we're like, you know what? It's a bed, man. We'll just put some plastic on it. We're good to go, right? And now it's like I finally got some new stuff that's like not hand-me-downs, and now I'm like, I don't take hand-me-downs now.
Hey, at that house, I had a mattress and a bed spring sitting on the floor, and I had some furniture that was mine, and then I had everything else in boxes in the front room.
You did.
Because I lived by myself. That she hadn't moved in with me yet, and she moved in, and she's like, "What are you doing? Why is all this stuff in boxes?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." Like, I was still like under the delusion that, like, I don't know, man. Like, do I really want to unpack? Is this real? Like,
right?
I really got this place. Like, I kept it all in the boxes. I'm like, I don't want to get too comfortable.
Yeah. Listen, I remember living out of a suitcase, and that would be my dresser, right? Because I wouldn't be at the same place that long. And I lived that way for a long time too. Like, I lived in a suitcase. That's what I did. And like, even at my mom's house, I lived in suitcases. I don't know where I was going to be, and it's still, sometimes I still have that mentality too,
I was the same way. I would run. I was a runner. So like, I can't even tell you, I could pack everything into the trunk of my car that I owned. And anytime shit got hard in one state, I would run to another state where I had friends, and then another state, and everything I owned fit, probably in half of the trunk of my car, and that's it. And I would take that everywhere I went. What are you laughing at?
I just want to put this comment up here. After Kelly said, my biggest one was always fear of other people's opinions. Is there anything I can do to change that? Like when I was saying somebody doesn't like me, no, I just hit your face. No, I'll work on that.
No.
But that's basically, thank you, Rudolph, because that's basically what it is. Like, okay, I haven't done anything wrong. Like, I haven't. So what do I got to do here? Oh man, I can't stand your face, and your voice is horrible.
That's
okay.
That's stepbrothers, bro. Stepbrothers right
there. On that. I hope you have a great day.
Mine still rears its ugly head like that with work. I'll call myself out on that, man. I have the.
That's the imposter syndrome.
I know. Oh, but that's a whole, yes, it is. It's part of the same thing, but maybe that is totally still what it is. Now, I've gotten better. I know that. I can see that. I can see my growth today, but it's still there. It's a little bit of imposter syndrome and a little bit of fear of other people's opinion. And I will work my freaking fingers to the bone to prove myself to, my boss or my coworkers or whatever it is. Still working on that. Just being honest. 8 years later.
I've got that though. That's I think that's what makes us so valuable though, is we'll outwork just about anybody because A, we're grateful for where we're at, and B, we don't feel like we should be there.
Yeah.
We got something to prove, man. We got something to prove.
I don't think it's the worst thing to feel like you got something to prove, because it catapults us up quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It does work in our favor.
A thing.
But I also don't want to make myself nuts with it. I also don't want to be like that will make me work to the point where I have zero balance in my life. And I don't want that either.
What do you mean it'll make us nuts? We are nuts. We're already nuts.
Listen, I just wanted to prove myself so they didn't look at my records. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to do.
And now
I'm really good, man. You ain't got to worry about it.
now we put our crap out there publicly. And there's another fear we don't have to have. I don't have to have the fear of being found out because I told everybody.
I found out. They found me out.
Oh, no, you found out that I have our past? Well, guess what? I have a podcast every week that I tell everybody about my past. So you didn't find anything out, brother. It's not a secret.
They uncovered the shit. Yeah. I mean, that's how it started, you know?
Let me see what we got here. Oh, look at this one. Kelly Rodriguez, I love you.
I love you, Rachel.
Hey.
Your mom is with you, though. I know that.
Let's read this one. Jessica, I had to cut everyone out, which got rid of so much toxicity in my life in order to find out who I am, which I'm still learning. And to learn how to start truly see myself and love myself, which was the only way I was able to get clean and sober. You know, it took a long time for me to look at myself and not see the old me. And my brain still tells me sometimes that I'm the old me, but it doesn't last as long as it used to. But you know, bravo. You know, I had to cut everybody out too. I kept going right back to the same spot that I lived my entire life in Tampa and going, well, I don't know why I can't get clean and sober. I just keep going right back to the exact same spot with the exact same people. And people will tell you, oh, you know, people, places, things, and that. It was an inside job, but the inside job worked and gave me an awareness of I should probably not just go back to do the same dumb shit that I keep doing. And maybe I should get a new change of scenery here. I'm not running away from myself. I just want to build a different life in a different place. And that worked for me.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, if you get rid of the toxic traits about yourself, you usually get rid of the toxic people that you keep around too.
Because you got nothing left to hang with anymore.
Yeah,
those people don't want to hang with the sober Cesar anyway.
You know, like I seen the thing. It was like, what the hell? Wait, it's Medea. It's like, I must have been lonely. What the hell was I fucking with you for that long? Oh my god, it just popped in my head, Medea, dude. That dude right there has some good stuff sometimes.
Garrett says, my dad always told me, not everyone's going to like you. Get over it. You know what my sponsor told me? He said, if you like everybody in every meeting, then you ain't gone to enough meetings. He said, it goes back and forth, man. I'm not going to like everybody, and not everybody's going to like me, and that's all right, man. It's not a popularity contest. Being the most popular person in recovery is like being the coolest guy on the short bus.
Side note, Kara, I think you were the one that was messaging back and forth about an antidepressant. DM us, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Yeah, because I lost that whole train of comments. We were commenting back and forth earlier in the thread. So send us a message, and I'll make sure that I respond to the Hope Shots instant messenger thing. What is it called? Instant messenger, just messenger. The Hope Shots messenger. That was way up there.
All right.
Sick people attract sick people. That's that thing. What you put out there comes back. The energy that you put out, and when you start, projecting that energy, and sick people attract sick people. But when we heal and we are truly ourselves, what we put out there comes back, and the right people are in our lives.
All of them.
No, I'm fine answering that. A lot of prescription pills and alcohol. I didn't do any drug other than prescription drugs, which still did the job. And then I drink on top of prescription pills.
Let me see.
I mean, that's half people get their.
I know. Yeah.
The start of everything, you know.
Very true. Yeah, I was a hot mess.
I can't imagine that, but.
Well, yeah, you can ask. You know what? A lot of people here didn't see it though. It's my friends that where I grew up in Detroit that definitely could tell you some stories.
All right, let's see. We got let's see some more comments.
What are you laughing about? Crack? Did somebody say crack me?
Steve.
Crack.
He's probably talking about himself.
Oh God, that'd be.
But it's way funnier for me to think it was for Kelly.
It is kind of funny.
I couldn't imagine that.
I can barely do caffeine. Nothing stimulant would have ever. That would have been a whole other story.
Can you just imagine?
I can't. I just can't even.
No. Nope.
Nope.
Kelly on the stem.
No.
We all be in trouble. No.
Oh man.
For sure. I'd have a heart attack and die anyway. So like y'all would be.
I was
fine.
about to click on that. Yeah,
my favorite thing about being sober this week is watching everyone lose their minds over the color of a beer can and not giving two shits about it myself.
That's it, man. Staying in our own lane. I don't give a shit what that beer can looks like.
And it was just like consistently some stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Any one of those stupid situations like that, the only thing the good that comes out of it is the memes. I mean, the memes are hilarious from both sides.
Don't go so deep into this.
That's not deep. Just there's great memes on both sides. It's hilarious.
It is.
I have no opinion.
No, not Kelly.
Oh, stop it, Steve. We know that you meant Kelly smokes crack.
Did you just call me a crackhead, Steve?
Old crackhead Kelly.
Oh, do not.
Oh, God. Cesar just went.
Oh, man. You know, there was a few comments on being content and, you know, finding serenity. It's funny. There's like a dichotomy in recovery. And it's, you know, we come into this thing and without anything in our system, we're restless, irritable, and discontent. And we're trying to find serenity and contentment through this recovery process. But then they tell you, man, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. So we got to get content, but get uncomfortable. It's just always a process, you know, and it's true. If I'm comfortable, I'm not growing. I always got to push myself outside of the comfort zone. I remember, I've told it too many times on here, but the first time I spoke in public was an absolute shit show, man. I was visibly shaking. I couldn't remember what I said. I know you have a different perspective.
Because I was in the audience watching you. It was not bad.
No, internally, it was a shit show. I was freaking out. And
I feel that.
I'm pretty comfortable with it today, but only if I keep doing it. So, yeah, you know, I'm working on being content with my life, but there still has to be growth. So that's the dichotomy.
That's a real thing.
I got to keep growing, but I'm supposed to be content, but I have to get uncomfortable. It's just a whole deal.
I feel like that's where gratitude comes in, though. You know, like gratitude brings that contentment. I think as long as we're consistently gracious and practice gratitude for the things that we do have, then the growth comes as like a happy byproduct of that.
I will say that even practicing it, sometimes it can go by the wayside with contentment. I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's not a perfect science by far, but I think gratitude is a big step towards being content with what we have.
It is. And I will say that also, like what Cesar's saying, I had to talk to my daughter about this whole deal too with difficult. And if it's not easy, you're not growing. I literally had to have a conversation with that this week because she wants to do the easy shit. You know, if shit gets hard, she'd rather run away and go to the left or lie about it. And I'm like, bro, you're 9. Like, come on, let's not do this. You know, like, but like I had to tell her, like, if you want to grow up, you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to be smart. Like she's saying, she She says she literally, and I'm just gonna put this out here, whatever. She said she prayed to be smart. And I'm like, that's not how you become smart is doing the difficult shit. That's being smart. Dumbasses don't. Simple as that. We can sit here and try to run from doing the difficult stuff, but that's not the smart move. You pray to be smart. This is how you be smart.
You pray and you put action behind it.
You pray to be smart. You better be prepared to work, because that's
exactly you got to do the work.
That's you're gonna be given the opportunity to learn. That's what that answered prayer is probably going to look like.
Kiddo, that breaks my heart though.
She's getting in more challenging work, and she's starting to grow, and she got, advanced into another class, and now like it's changed, and she's changed, and I'm
getting older. Maya went through that this year too, with being in 5th grade, and all of a sudden everything got real with schoolwork, and they're not lower elementary, and they're preparing them for middle school, and it's been a challenge, and middle school is going to be even harder.
So can I put one more up here? This is good. Sure. Marty says, I needed this. I needed this for a reason. A lot of what you're saying is what I'm going through. Don't have an addiction, but I'm going through anxiety, which I feel is just as hard. And I'm going through this alone.
Absolutely. Marty, that's what led a lot of anxiety is part of what led to my addiction. You absolutely. I mean, you have family in us. I don't think the Hope Shot is just necessarily for people with addiction. We're all here to support each other, and anxiety is a very, very real thing. And I can absolutely relate and feel you.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Anxiety sometimes is so crippling that it's just, and it's out of nowhere sometimes. Like, where'd it come from? I have no clue. And like, it just puts me on my knees sometimes, like almost want to pass out. That's how bad it is.
So Marty, you're not going through this alone.
No.
We're here for you, man. This is that anxiety is probably the beginning of most people's story that come on this.
Yeah.
We are not comfortable in our own skin. We are anxious people all the time, and we numbed that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took it to an extreme, and recovery has brought us back, and we've learned healthy coping skills for our anxiety, or we seek treatment for our anxiety, whatever it may look like. We don't numb it anymore, but we all face it every single day. At least everybody that's sitting here on this screen right now deals with anxiety on a daily basis.
And Marty, if you need help with any resources, we have some resources with the Hope Shot, but also I work in social work. So I work in the field, and you can reach out again to the Hope Shot's messenger. And that goes for anybody. If you need help with anything, we are up here. We are in recovery. We are telling our stories, but the Hope Shot's also an RCO, Recovery Community Organization, and I work for a coalition, and I'm a social worker. So we're always prepared if you might need to take that additional step. And, maybe it's not just meetings, but you need counseling, or you need help finding a treatment center, or, anything that you might need, reach out to us, and we can at least send some resources your way and do the best we can to connect you to the proper services too.
Definitely the best of our ability, anyways. We'll point.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's perfect. We can try to help. I mean, the system is confusing in general. So if we can help in any way to get you connected to the proper resources, let us know. And if it's not us, then we'll connect you to a navigator that might know how to navigate that part of the system.
Here, I'm going to put this up real quick.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I seen that. Hi from Ventura, California. You are not alone. I have anxiety and panic attacks, and I remember it will pass. Calming music and breath we are here for you. And that breath work does work.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Guided meditation, breath work saved my butt. Still does save my butt.
Okay, Cesar, go ahead. I'll put it up for you.
I want to read this.
And I remember a day in early sobriety when I realized I had so much gratitude that all my problems today are mine. You find such weird things to be grateful for in recovery. Previously, I was so codependent that I was always wrapped up in so many people's drama. If we all put our problems in the middle of a circle, we would all take our own problems back.
I love that.
Yeah, we would.
Hey, the devil, I don't want your problems.
No, man. Whoa. It's nobody can see the problems, right?
That's it.
I mean,
if I dump mine on the table, y'all probably wouldn't want those.
You never know what somebody else is going through, because like some people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about their problems because it magnifies them.
That's a good perspective, though. If we all dumped them in a circle, we'd probably take our own problems back.
I really like it. I love it.
That brings you right back to gratitude.
I love it. That's great. All right. Well, that's it for tonight, guys. Yeah.
It was almost 9 already.
Yeah, only 2.5 of us, because she was on for half the time. But 2.5.
2.5. I like, though, for me, I like having like a bounce back and forth conversation rather than what do you got to say? What do you got to say? I can have conversations all day.
Me too. And I love it a lot more. So maybe we need to like work on that, let's work on it.
That's what radio shows do. They have conversations.
I know. Sometimes it gets a little with so many people. That's all.
No, I get it.
Yeah. If we have 3 people, it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody.
All right.
Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for hearing us, listening to us. We hope you got something out of it. And if you guys are feeling discontent, work on it. Find out what that is. Like, work on something this week. Putting something off, like something that you need to do, that you need to do to help yourself. Maybe it's eating healthy. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's seeing a therapist. Maybe it's doing some step work. Maybe it's stop using. Maybe it's going to detox. Maybe it could be something simple like reading a book. Like, do it this week. Let's do it this week. I know I am. I'm sure Cesar and Kelly are. I know that for a fact. We are going to do some good things this week because that's what we do. It's a new week, new start. Let's go. So see you guys next Sunday.
Reach out if you need help with anything.
Definitely reach out. Don't stay in your shit. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Love y'all. See ya.
Bye.